We have been praying during these days with the Blessed Mother. We are praying and meditating on the different Marian apparitions and the messages that come along with those apparitions. As we started yesterday on the Our Lady of Guadalupe, the incident that took place in Mexico, where the Blessed Mother appeared to a young man, Juan, and asked for a basilica to be made in her honor in that place where she appeared. And he was to tell the bishop about it. And when he tells the bishop asks for a sign. And that is when he asks the Blessed Mother, and the Blessed Mother sends him up to the summit. There he finds roses that never bloom in the winter, and he takes the roses and he places it in his tilma, or the cloak, and takes it to the Blessed Mother. She rearranges all the roses for him, and he carries that to the bishop. When he opens the tilma or the cloak and he shows it to the bishop, there amongst the roses, where the roses was, is this beautiful picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And yesterday's reflection, we heard about certain miraculous understandings of this picture, especially how well it is preserved. The material is made out of cactus, and even after all these years, 500 years, it's still perfectly without any kind of damage to that particular cloak or that tilma, which is a near impossibility. Today I continue and speak about the scientific evidences connected to this, or the science that is reflected in the beautiful picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Using computer program, astronomers and scientists, they discovered an arrangement of the stars. So if you see the picture of the Blessed Mother, Our Lady of Guadalupe, you see her mantle, and on a mantle you see certain dots. Those dots are stars. And that constellation, all those stars actually reflect or reveal a constellation. And the constellation of that, as will be shown on the little screen for you, the constellation that is shown, this constellation reflects exactly the constellation that was there above Mexico in the year 1531, on the 12th of December, the day when the Blessed Mother appeared to Juan. On that very same day, the constellation that was there in the sky is actually reflected on her mantle. The stars are in the same constellation. Exactly at 6:45 in the morning, that constellation, exactly the same way it is reflected on the mantle of the Blessed Mother, and on different places as well. Now, to understand how Mary's head is even tilted, the constellation of the stars are understood not geocentrically, that is, not from the viewpoint of the earth. You understand how the stars are placed heliocentrically, that is, from the vision of the sun. So based on the sun, you understand where the stars are placed. The earth is leaning towards the sun 23.5 degrees. Mother Mary's head in that picture is leaning perfectly and exactly at 23.5 degrees. And if a reflection and an understanding, just as the earth leans towards the sun at that angle, the same way all of us lean towards the Son of God, the center of everything. And that is what the Blessed Mother is indicating over there. And besides that, the three specific constellations that are found in the mantle and on that picture of the Blessed Mother, one is around the head of the Blessed Mother is the Corona constellation. Corona means crown. And Our Lady's crown is there on that picture. Though it is not visible physically, it is the constellation of the stars that is there. It is the corona constellation, her crown visible through the constellation. Not only that, the constellation around her womb is the Leo constellation. And Leo means lion. The Lion of Judah is reflected on her womb in the stars. Then the constellation around her heart is the Virgo constellation. Virgo means virgin, the heart of the virgin. All these three constellations that are seen in the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe are indications of who she is as the mother, as the Queen of Heaven, as the Virgin Mother, and the center of it all is Leo, that is the Lion of Judah, Jesus. All these are scientifically approved by the astronomers and the scientists, understanding the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Besides that, Professor Ojeda does his theory, his mathematical theory. He finds the Kepler's triangle in this. What is the Kepler's triangle? The Kepler's triangle has what is called as a golden ratio. The golden ratio is usually used by architects and artists whenever they are trying to get a perfectly proportionate structure. They will use a Kepler's triangle on that picture or whatever they are trying to make to get the proportions perfect. So the golden ratio is right the center of around which everything else is built. In this picture of the Blessed Mother of Guadalupe, the Kepler's triangle is right at the womb of the Blessed Mother. And we know the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe indicates that the Blessed Mother is pregnant. And right at that womb is the golden ratio, right the center of everything. So there's so much of science that is being revealed for a picture that miraculously appeared on the tilma 500 years ago. We are not talking about something now. 500 years ago. There's so much of geometry, there's so much of maths involved, in astronomy involved in that picture. And therefore, they tried to find out one element that is not present is the musical element. And so, Professor Ojeda used his mathematical calculations, and he divided the tilma along the single vertical seam. And he applied staff musical system on the image. And changing the stars that are there and the flowers that are there into musical notes, he was able to create from there using just the position of the flowers that were there, and according to the mathematical calculations, he was able to bring out musical notes that revealed a perfect melody hidden in that picture. In the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe, there's a perfect melody based on exactly those constellations. Now, what he says is, this is what took place at 6:45 a.m. on 12th of December, 1531. You change the constellations by 5 minutes behind or 5 minutes in front, and the music will make no sense at all. Only at 6:45 a.m., that calculation that was done and the musical notes that were created based on where the flowers were placed, that music makes perfect melody. Take 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after, it makes no sense at all. There's a beautiful miracle of music, celestial music, that is actually hidden in the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Now, in all of these depictions, the symbolism that was there, that the Blessed Mother revealed in the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe, we have to understand a history connected to it. So, the Spanish missionaries came into Mexico to bring Christ into that land, and the people who were there were the Aztec people. They were pretty much wild. There was a lot of human sacrifices that were going on, so much so that parents would sacrifice themselves for the benefit of their children. The sacrifice was so bad that sometimes the priests, it is said, would even eat the heart of those who are sacrificed. It was a wild set of people, but they understood symbols. How much ever the Spanish missionaries tried to reveal who Jesus is and what Jesus is, they couldn't convert the Aztec community. And it is Joan the first, Saint Joan Diego, who is the first convert from that community, who was given this revelation of the Blessed Mother. And in that picturization, there were certain things that the Aztec community would only understand. What were they? One, I've always thought about the color tone of the Blessed Mother's mantle. One of the reasons why I never actually liked the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe was because of that color. It's a bluish green. And the bluish green is not our traditional blue that we are connected to the Blessed Mother. So it never stood out. And I was never interested looking. I was always thinking to myself, why such a dull picture of the Blessed Mother? But that color tone for the Aztec people was meant only for royalty. And the Blessed Mother is royalty. Then there is the cincture on her stomach. The cincture is a black cincture. For the Aztec people, a black cincture anywhere a woman wears, it means that there is a child in the womb. Apart from that, Mary appears as a mestiza. What is a mestiza? Mestiza is a combination of the Spanish and the Aztec. So if a Spanish person married an Aztec person from an Aztec community, and the child that came forth would be called as a mestiza. They are considered as the lowest class of society amongst all the people. Mary appeared to Joan as a mestiza, right at the lowest part of the community. But she has spoken to the Spanish and she has spoken to the Aztec community through that revelation. Not just to one community, she's spoken to both. So there is so much of symbolism. Even the name Our Lady of Guadalupe, they say the Spanish actually misunderstood the word Guadalupe and thought that it is a shrine in Spain, which is called as Guadalupe. But the term Guadalupe actually sounded in the local language as one who crushes the serpent. And we know that is always connected to the Blessed Mother. Even to the extent her hair is depicted in a middle partition, which according to the Aztec community was only used by a virgin. And a virgin will depict herself having that kind of a partition of her hair. Then the 4-petal jasmine flower that is shaped in the form of a cross is right over the womb. The Aztecs call the jasmine flower as the solar flower. It is a symbol of divinity. So much of symbolism that is reaching out to the Aztec community. Now, the Spanish missionaries went there, they couldn't convert anyone in that community. The Blessed Mother went there, revealed herself, and the whole community changed after that. There were 9 million people who accepted Catholicism after the revelations of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And that is very significant because during that time in the 1500s, many were leaving, in Europe, many were leaving the Catholic faith because of the Reformation. And here in the New World in Mexico, many millions are now embracing the Catholic faith. The Blessed Mother gives messages to us through Our Lady, through this whole experience in Mexico. Our Lady of Guadalupe reveals to us two things through these messages. One is she brought together two very different communities, the Spanish community and the Aztec community. They tried to mingle, nothing happened, but the Blessed Mother's presence brought unity into these two communities by presenting the divine Savior to them. For us, that is a message as well. When two sets of people or two communities are not able to come together for whatever differences we have, two individuals are not able to come together for whatever differences we have, the Blessed Mother, Our Lady of Guadalupe, helps us find unity in the beloved Son. So if you are struggling either individually with another person in spite of all the good intentions you have, but you're not able to find that unity, it could be in your family, it could be in your communities, ask the Blessed Mother of Guadalupe to intercede and pray and help find unity. Are you within your prayer groups, or are you within your ministries and there is no unity and there is discord? Ask the Blessed Mother of Guadalupe to bring unity into that community, unity into your families. She will remind both sides about the foundation we have in Jesus, her beloved Son, the very center of her life, the center of her womb. That is one message of Guadalupe. The second is, remember, all this happened 500 years ago. We spoke about what is depicted in the eyes yesterday. And it was impossible for anyone to know what was depicted in the eyes at that time in 1531. We came to know about this only first time in 1929. So something that was from the ancient times is become relevant in our modern world. All this science that we have mentioned about the constellation of the stars, the musical notes and all of this, all hidden behind this beautiful image of the Blessed Mother, is actually a reminder to our modern world. One, that the Lord is far, far ahead of us. If you want to give a number to that, the Lord is 500 years already ahead of us. We think to ourselves that religion and faith is ancient and the teachings of faith is ancient. Well, the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe tells us we are far behind. She is speaking to the modern world in terms that we understand, in the science that we understand. Something that was depicted in 1531 is understood only today, in the 19th, 20th, 21st centuries. So she's speaking to the modern world. And that is her message. She's telling Jesus is not restricted to any particular time in the past. And we shouldn't look down on what Jesus is teaching us as things of the past or for the ancient world. Very, very relevant for our world today. We're going to play the celestial hymn that is hidden behind the picture of Our Lady of Guadalupe. I want you to offer your prayer intentions, asking for Our Lady of Guadalupe to intercede and pray. Remember, this music is celestial music. It is not composed by any human person. This music is composed by God. This music is celestial. It's a celestial hymn. Saint Juan Diego speaks about a music he heard all throughout when the Blessed Mother appeared. We don't know if this is the same music, but at the same time, this hidden, beautiful tone, melody that is there, let it become a moment of prayer for us.